Well, hello there. Well, let's bring this down a little bit. There we go. Well, good morning. Sorry, I had a little eye itch there. Good morning. This is Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern. Uh, it's 9 o'clock where I'm at, but Tuesday at 9 o'clock, this didn't have the same ring. And since a lot of y'all probably in Eastern time zone, Tuesday at 10 o'clock sounded better. So, uh, yeah. So, in case you can't read, thought I saw something. Uh, in case you didn't read, or if you're new to the show, or if you're in the back row and can't see very clearly, I am South Coast Kane, Jordan Page, and my man Crip. I played that little opening theme song for you, by the way. Oh, so now that we've had time to digest this past weekend, a lot of thoughts, a lot of theories going on out there. The talk of the town, we learned yesterday that apparently Tyler Van Dyke will be the starting quarterback Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon against Louisville. Should be interesting. Uh, I mean, again, we have the same conversation we had the last few weeks here, who do you go with? You got to pick the lesser of two evils. And what I mean by evils is you got Tyler, who hasn't really been stellar. And then you got Jakari, who hasn't been anything because we don't know. He hasn't been on the field. So, and then, it's Louisville. They're 9-1. They're coming into Hard Rock Stadium. Surprisingly, only a 1-point favorite right now. That's crazy. So I guess, I mean, and if Louisville wins, they're in the ACC championship, they're top 10. They're going to be out there playing. They're going to be ripping it up. They got something to play for. Miami does too, but not to the extent of Louisville. And honestly, you really have no other option but to play Tyler for this game. Now, my question is, will this be Tyler's last game for Miami? Because next week, or Black Friday, it is the Boston College game at Boston College. And I've said this since the schedule came out. I'm kind of concerned about that game, playing at Boston College the Friday after Thanksgiving. I'm just having flashbacks to Flutie. I know it's a whole different ball game now, but yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to come on, see how everybody feels, what they think. Like I said, the topic of the day is TVD is starting. And of course, the Florida State game's been dissected to death. It is what it is. A lot of people got a lot of good thoughts and prayers up for Emory. We talked about it Saturday night. I'm not pulling a I told you so, but again, I had a bad feeling he broke something up in here because, the good Lord only gave us one elbow per arm. And the replay, some of the footage I saw, poor dude looked like he had 2 elbows, and that's not good. But and unfortunately, he had to have surgery. I was kind of afraid of that when I saw the injury. Uh, so yeah, Emery's out. And just like we talked about Saturday night, it is now TVD and Jakari. I know. Listen, I was really trying to watch Mario's press conference yesterday, but their audio situation was horrible, man. It's like you could barely hear Mario talk, but then when the questions from the audience came on, it's like they just cranked it up, and you still really couldn't hear anything. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, we talked about this before. I personally think that Miami, the coaching staff, offensive side, has painted themselves into the corner because you had an opportunity to let Jakari get some time on the field, see what's going on, but you didn't. Of course, I am, I'm 1,000 miles away. I'm not making the big bucks to make those decisions, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, another common theme that I'm hearing on some of these Miami talk shows is, and I kind of agree with it, is that since the bye week and TVD's kind of gone downhill with his performance, whether it be from mental, physical, both, I don't know. Since his play has kind of gone down, it seems like Dawson is coaching scared, very conservative, afraid to really do anything. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm sure they have reasons, they have theories, methods, philosophies, whatever. I mean, that's up to them. Me, I'd be like, grip it and rip it, go with it. Oh, but it's been a very interesting ride so far since the bye week. I would really, if anybody out there has any information regarding what happened during the bye week, please let us know. I mean, it's like it's just two different teams, man. I don't know. Oh, but I will say that defense, I ever since that Miami of Ohio game, I've been real high on this defense. They got it. I mean, they have their issues, they have their ups and downs. Oh, they're not perfect, but man, this is a good defense. Oh, hopefully, hopefully we don't lose. The team doesn't lose too many of them to the draft. Hopefully, they all come back. Uh, but hey, they got to do what's best for them and theirs. I just, in years past, these cats, they leave their senior, they leave after their junior year, go into the draft thinking, they'll be second round, and they just either don't get drafted or go like way late, you know. But that's neither here nor there. I've also, again, you got these keyboard warriors. I've been hearing a little bit about, they keep talking about, Jakari's going to transfer after the season. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh crap! I didn't know you was in the hospital, man. I hope you been dehydrated, bro. You got to drink your water, bro. Got to drink your water. 2 bags, man. Well, hopefully you're doing better, Crip. Hopefully you're doing better. Sorry to hear that you were feeling bad. Uh, take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. All right, let's see if we can get our first guest of the day here. There he is, Bryce with the shades. What's going on, dude?
What's up, Jordan? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Now I just sitting here, just sitting here, just talking about some of the things that's been talked about these last few days. And of course, yesterday we found out about Tyler will be starting against Louisville.
Correct.
Emory is doing better.
Yeah,
He's supposed to be coming back. Mario said he'll be back in the spring. 2024, 2025, we don't know. He just said spring.
I believe he said 2024, but then again, you never know what's going to happen during that time.
Right. So I don't want to turn this into a negative discussion, but
No,
with Tyler getting the starting nod against Louisville, and I just saw this morning where the point spread, Louisville is only a 1-point favorite. And with Louisville coming in, if they win, they're in the ACC championship. It's not like Florida State that was already in it. I mean, Louisville has to win to get in. So what I'm getting at is they're going to be coming out ripping and roaring. And then lastly, it's a noon game on Saturday.
correct.
So with those things, tell me what you're thinking.
Well, yeah, Louisville does need to beat us in order to go to the ACC championship. Now, there are other scenarios where Louisville could still get in if I believe Duke beats North Carolina, and then some other things would have to happen for them in order to get to the ACC championship.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but Duke got beat by North Carolina Saturday night.
Ah, okay, yeah. So
They lost. I was actually rooting for Duke, be honest with you, and then they let Carolina come back and beat them in overtime. But anyway, go ahead.
right. Either way, I still feel like even if Miami were to beat Louisville, I still think things would. There's some other things that would have to pan out for them in order to go to the ACC championship. But regardless, I also forgot about this. I forgot that we're playing for the boots. Completely forgot about that.
I did. I'm glad I forgot all about that. The
Yeah, yeah,
Schnelly Trophy. I'm glad you said something. We
yeah,
got so caught up in all this other brouhaha, completely forgot about it.
yeah. So I mean, Miami does still have a couple of things that they could still play for. Obviously bragging rights for the Howard Schnellenberger Trophy, and then to potentially ruin Louisville's chances to go to the ACC championship. As far as the whole, how do I feel about TBD starting? I mean, does it shock me? No, it doesn't shock me, but I still would like to see what Jakari can do. I'm pretty sure a lot of Canes fans would like to see what Jakari can do. I mean, I'm pretty sure if anybody was watching or listening to Mario Cristobal's post game, or actually no Louisville presser yesterday, he did say that Jakari will get some reps with I think the first team. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but you know, I don't know. It's still going to be interesting. I mean, again, it's funny how we were talking about this. I think 2 days ago, however long ago it was, about this whole quarterback situation. I mean, I don't know. But then again, you only have 2 games left in the regular season plus the bowl games, so anything could realistically happen.
Right.
But it's like I wish I wish we could sit here and say that we got confidence in Tyler Van Dyke, and it's like it's not to say that we don't, but at the same time, it's like what Tyler Van Dyke are we gonna get against Louisville then potentially Boston College? Are we going to get a Tyler Van Dyke that's actually, going to keep his interceptions down? Or are we going to get a Tyler Van Dyke that's actually going to play somewhat of a decent game to where it's enough to be able to win us the game?
Right. And honestly, I mean, you can't. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but I just, unfortunately, personally, I mean, you got to put TVD in there Saturday
Yeah.
because again, this is a 9-1 Louisville team. They are wanting to win and get in. It's the Snellenberger Trophy, and nothing against Jakari. It's just I'm not there. I don't see what he does. I don't know what he looks like in practice. I don't know.
Yeah.
But and I know that last 2 minutes of the Florida State game really you really can't, in my opinion, I can't fairly judge Tyler.
No,
You
you
know,
can't.
you,
You
you
can't.
know,
I mean, towards the end, he completed all three of his passes, and then obviously at the end, I can't fault him for the final play. He had to make a play. He had no
right,
choice.
right, right. Uh, but just looking at the complete body of work, again, I continue to ask the question, what in the world happened on the bye week?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, now my question is, so if Jakari is getting some reps with the first team and stuff, it kind of makes me wonder what kind of leash is Tyler going to be on? Are they going to let this dude throw 2, 3 interceptions? Because Louisville's going to come after him.
Yeah.
They're going to come after him.
Yeah.
What kind of game plan is Dawson going to have?
I hope it's not a crap ton of screens and running up the middle. That's what I'm hoping for.
I know, and with with the Florida State game, even with the dysfunctionality of the offensive play calling, not the players, but the play calling. Thank God for our defense. But I just didn't understand. I just never understood why with Florida State putting like, 8, 9 people in the box, safety walking up. Why do you still want to run it up the middle? I don't get it. But that's neither here nor there. But I will say that game Saturday night was pretty cool, dude. I mean, you take away that punt return, you give us that safety.
Mm-hmm.
Things could have been different. Again, I'm not saying Miami would have won. I'm not saying Miami would have lost, but it could have been different because we would have had that safety. They would have kicked off.
It could have been a lot closer if things had gone, or if calls had gone the correct way, and then if not giving up that punt return, it could have been probably a lot different game for Miami and FSU because of momentum change and all that stuff.
Right, and don't get me wrong. That the officiating was just atrocious.
Yeah, it was
all the way around. But I'm just saying, at that point, get the safety. They kick off from the 20. Miami gets the ball back. You still got about a minute or so left.
Yeah.
You got the 2 points. You could have gone up the field a little bit. Maybe got 3 points. May have gotten 7. It would have been a momentum change. And then Miami comes out. They get the ball in the second half. I mean, I don't know. But I will say though, it was. I mean, I have no bad. I don't have any bad things to say about the team.
No, in all honesty, I would say that's probably the best that we've seen that team look in the past 3, 4, 5, 6 games. They kept it relatively close with Florida State, and I think that's Florida State for this season. I think that's their second lowest scoring game of this season.
Right. And maybe Dawson tries a few different plays, maybe some different looks or something. I think Miami can be very competitive against Louisville.
They can,
But
babe. But
we had no turnover. Well, I'm not going to count that last interception by Tyler, but
yeah,
for the whole of the game, there was no turnovers.
yeah,
Malagoa had some false start penalties. I mean, he's freshman, first time it's frustrating, but with him, I guess I'm just showing favoritism and kind of give him a pass.
yeah.
But other than that, the penalties weren't that bad. Overall, the play was really good. But I'm just concerned this Saturday about the play calling and TVD.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of odd. And I'm not trying to start anything, but it's going to be kind of odd if Restrepo all of a sudden learns how to catch the football this weekend. Because apparently, and I know Emory may have been off a little bit, but Restrepo had a horrible game, dude.
He did.
And I know he's not Superman, okay, but he's made those catches before.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure I'll be willing to bet that Tyler's going to key in on him, but I don't know why they don't try to get Jacoby and Colby involved more. Because man, I tell you what, Colby, I mean, he looked pretty good in that Florida State game. Now, granted, that long pass play for a touchdown, that was a Florida State screw up, but we'll take it. We'll take it. But one thing I will say, and I've enjoyed this all season, is there's really no quit in this team.
Yeah.
Even when Tyler's throwing all these interceptions, yeah, the defense gets tired, but I don't know. I just don't. And truth be told, I can't call it. I can't call it for Saturday. With Tyler starting, I don't know. I mean, I think Miami can win, but it's going to take. Oh, I guess we lost Bryce photo there. His video's out. That'd be all right. As long as Tyler doesn't throw the interceptions, I think we'll be okay. I really do. And as far as the run game goes, maybe we can try running the ball somewhere besides up the middle.
Yeah, gotta bounce it out the outside is what we gotta do.
But yeah, I think if as long as Tyler doesn't throw his picks and stuff, we'll see. We'll see. Of course, he may still be butthurt for being benched anyway. I don't know. I just don't know. Again, I'm not trying to say because there's going to be Jakari people and there's going to be Tyler people. I'm neither one. Okay. From what I've seen, let's see. Has it been 6 weeks since the bye week? Yeah. The last 6 weeks have been, none of the last 6 weeks games are really going to be on Tyler's highlight film.
No, definitely not.
And on a different topic, it looks like the men's basketball team is now 3-0, Bryce. Is that right?
That is correct. But
yeah, they played FIU last night, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
You have to forgive me. I really don't follow basketball too much. I'll look at the score or whatever, but
you're good. So this game, because I watched the game last night, and then Hoodie Girl did her, with Vinshu, and then another guy named Matty Ice, or as his Twitter handle will be Inside Out. You know, they obviously talked about the game. Uh, this game was definitely early season adversity for the men's basketball team. Uh, And the concern for this team going forward is obviously, we're a small team. We like to play a lot of small ball. That's how Coach Larry Naga likes to play. Um, we got past 2 games. We've been out rebounded on the offensive side of the glass, which is not good.
Right.
Uh, FIU had more points in the paint than Miami did. I think FIU had like 40 points in the paint, and Miami had 26. Bench points for them, FIU I think had like 34. We had like 2 for
Mm,
bench points, and that's
wow.
that's a concern for our bench.
Well, do you think any of that has to do with the fact that it's early November, early part of the season?
Uh, and honestly, if you go back and watch, this team, you can go back to 2021 and even last year, we've always kind of gotten off to a little bit of a slow start. And every team, like I'll use this for a perfect example. I think Pennsylvania beat number 21 Villanova last night.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
So
Yeah, yeah.
so if you think about it, it's like we could have been in that category with Villanova last night. So it's not just us. A lot of teams are going through some early adversity in the season. But Miami's issue right now is that we have not been doing a very good job getting offensive rebounds. Our bench did not do a very good job last night. Both teams had, I think FIU had 18 turnovers and Miami had 14. And we turned the ball over a lot against UCF. So, got to take care of the ball a lot better in that category. We need to box out more, especially trying to get rebounds, because when you box out, you're most likely going to come down with rebounds. It also is a lot of lack of effort and lack of energy, because if you go back and watch the game against FIU last night, a lot of energy off of FIU's bench and a lot of energy out of their starting five. And if you look at our bench, there just wasn't any energy. Um, Definitely a lot of things that we got to clean up for sure. Early foul trouble was another issue. If you go back and watch last season, whenever Norchad Omier gets in early foul trouble, which Omier did not have his best game last night, I would actually say it's probably his worst game that he had last night. He had like about 3 or 4 fouls in the game or something like that. Some of them were like, a little bit of ticky tack. Some others were like, okay, I guess. And obviously, kind of like towards the end, officiating got a little, bad. You know how it'd be. But when Omir's not on the floor, this team is definitely very different, and we forget to how to rebound, which is why Michael Nwoko, 6'10" freshman that we got, definitely I would like to see him develop a lot faster, because he's, other than AJ Casey, him and AJ Casey are our only other 2 big men that we have.
Right.
Besides Norchad Omier. And Michael Nwoko had a pretty good game. He had a block. He got in the paint a little bit. AJ Casey definitely provided a spark. I think he had like, I don't know how many points he had. I think he had like 13 or something like that. I could be wrong, but he definitely provided a little bit of a spark off the bench as well. Wooka Poplar continues to do his thing. He's been very, very good through the past 3 games. We The reason why we won that game last night is because we were shooting the three a lot, and we
Oh,
were
yeah, yeah.
and we were making our threes, which is fine.
When
But
you
at the
make them.
same time, yeah, when you make them, but at the same time, you also don't want to be one-dimensional as well,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know. And
And
then
then and plus you got to realize this was probably like FIU's, Final Four moment last night against Miami.
some people were saying it was like FIU's Super Bowl, basically.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
it's funny because like this type of game I would have expected from UCF because 2 years ago we got blown out by UCF, and then last year we won by two, but obviously it had to do something with the clock, and
Right.
we ended up winning that game regardless.
Right.
Um, but I mean, I kind of get it, in-state rivalry, all that stuff. But positives take from the game, obviously, like I mentioned, Luka Popper, the FSU transfer, Matthew Cleveland. I mean, for the past 3 games, he's everywhere. I mean, he is literally everywhere on crashing the boards. You know, he had like 23 points last night. I think he was 3 of 3 on 3 pointers. I think he had like 7 assists or something like that. I mean, he's been definitely a big time addition, and he's also another reason why we won the game. Um, Bensley Joseph continues. He's been very good shooting the three as well, especially since teams are gonna scheme around Nigel Pack because they know how much of a threat he is from the three. Obviously, shooting the
Right.
three.
Right.
You know, but Nigel Pack has still made his presence felt. I mean, we know he can get to the rim. We know he can get his 2 pointers and all that stuff. Et cetera, et cetera. Um, just my thing, moving forward because this Friday we got to go to the Bahamas and play Georgia, and then
That's right.
the winner out of either between Providence or Kansas State. And obviously, we played Providence last year in the regular season, and I think Providence did go to the NCAA tournament last year.
Right.
So they're a good team, and we know Kansas State went all the way to the Elite Eight last year. And we know how good they are.
Oh yeah. I think it'll be fine. Again, it's we're in
it's early. It's early. We're only 3 games in, but if there's one thing that I know, Coach L is definitely going to have these boys working on offensive
oh
rebounding and taking
oh
care of the
yeah.
ball. And there's
Most
and there
definitely. Most
and there def
definitely.
and there definitely needs to be more effort and hustle plays. Um, I just think last night it just was a lack of energy and a lack of hustle plays. You know, but then again, despite even besides that, I'm not trying to make excuses or anything. You gotta rebound the ball, especially
Hmm.
on the offensive side. Take care of the ball. Stay out of foul trouble, especially early on in the game, because literally I think in like probably like 49 seconds into the game, Norchad got his first foul like literally 49 seconds into the game. Like you can't do that, man.
Nah.
You
Nah.
you can't do that, especially against better teams. Like again, like it's not going to get any easier for us because we're literally going all the way in the Bahamas to play Georgia, who is not a great basketball team, but they're not terrible.
Right.
And then
Right. Right.
and then you got to play either Providence or Kansas State, and then I forget who we after that. I forget who we play. I think it's Kentucky right after that, and
Yeah.
Kentucky's gonna be. We all know how good Kentucky is.
Yeah.
So either
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Either way, I still think this team's good. I think they're gonna be very good moving forward. Just gotta clean up the mistakes, and if we do that, we'll be okay.
Oh, most definitely. Because I mean, not too many championships are won in November, but you don't want to get careless. Ah, switching gears, but staying with the round ball. I see one of the Cavender twins signed with TCU.
Yeah, that's what's her name? Haley
I,
Cavender.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Again, they retired from basketball, tried whatever they were trying, and then now
Yeah.
she's at TCU. Which I'm not making light of it. I just I
Yeah,
thought that was kind of funny.
I did
You know,
too. I thought maybe she would have came back, but at the same time, I think the women's basketball team has been doing pretty good. I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with them as much, you know, with everything that's been going on, with football and then keeping up with men's. I haven't even keeping up with the Heat, but I know the Heat are actually been doing pretty good lately. I think they're on like a 5-game winning streak right now. So I mean that's good to see, and I know they play again tonight. Obviously, with the in season tournament. I forget who they're playing tonight, but I don't know if it's Charlotte or whoever it is, but I know they've been doing pretty good.
well,
And
I mean, and
then
at this time of year, everybody's kind of. I mean, unless your football team is like over, oh, usually this time of year, basketball doesn't get too much press unless you're at one of those, as they call them, blue blood schools. You know,
yeah,
oh,
I
but
mean there definitely was quite a bit of upsets earlier in the season. Arizona
and
taking down Duke at Cameron Indoor.
I know,
That's
and then you got those games tonight. I think it's Kansas. Is it Kansas and Duke
I think
and
so.
or is it Michigan State and Duke and Kansas and Kentucky or some kind of
Something like that.
something like that? And they're gonna put I almost said BCS, but the playoff
Yeah,
the
I
little
know what you're
playoff
saying.
thing rankings like
Yeah.
in between both games.
But
Oh
I also forgot to mention that Miami did move up a spot. They were 13th ranked
yeah,
in the
they're up to
country.
12 right now. So
They're up to 12 right now, and I think FAU is still at 10 right now, from my understanding.
no, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, and don't worry, we're gonna get into the baseball sooner or later. I promise you, we're gonna get into it
yeah.
because I'm telling you, I'm giving you warning right now. It's nothing personal,
Hmm.
but I have not been impressed with Artiega as a pitching coach. You know,
I can understand that argument. I can.
it's not again, it's nothing personal. I'm just saying he's been a pitching coach for oh my
Have
gosh, it was about like 20 years now.
yeah.
It's like 15, 20 years.
Have you looked at the schedule at all?
I No, I haven't. I have not gotten it. I'm still in the football mode. I haven't looked. I need to. But uh yeah, and I'm real. I mean, I may be a little overcritical when it comes to him being head coach. But then again, maybe he'll be a good head coach. I don't know. But
Right.
you know, it's going to be interesting. So if I start making any snide comments about JD, it's nothing personal.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that he did make some where I hope it's going to be good hires because he made some hires as well. He got some new coaches in there, which I'm not too familiar with. You know, I haven't been paying close attention to the baseball program because of everything that's been going on lately, and understandably so. Um, I do know one thing because I did look at the schedule. I haven't looked in a little bit. I do know March is going to be pretty tough, though. That much I do know.
I have to check that out. But
Yeah.
it's just the last thing I'll say about JD is he's never had that pitching staff. And what I mean
Yeah.
is you'll have one or two sprinkled in like last year. I think it was last year, year before last, and all those pitchers got hurt, and you had all these
Mhm.
cats coming from the bullpen.
Yep.
And my thing was, okay, these guys that are coming out the bullpen, they've been there since the beginning of the season, right? They were out there in the fall, practice. They've been practicing. They've been throwing.
Yeah.
I mean, and I understand. You can't. There's different talent levels. I understand that, but
You, you know, this is what I'm curious about since we are on the subject of baseball. I'm curious to see how the development of Blake Sears is going to look in his second year.
oh yeah, yeah.
You
I kind of
know,
got. He kind of became my. I kind of adopted him as my favorite player last year.
yeah, because I mean, he was really good. I mean, he's
He was.
actually I should say I'm not going to say he is. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. He
Right,
is really
right, right,
good.
right, right.
He is really good. The thing that I'm curious about him heading into his second year is how's his defense? Because that's one of the things that he definitely did struggle in last year is that his defense. I get it. He's a fresh. He was a freshman. He's gonna make freshman mistakes, but I'm curious to see how his defense is. But I'm just curious overall because you no longer have Yohani Morales anymore. You no longer have Alejandro Rosario. You don't have man. Who else am I forgetting? There's somebody else. Zach Levinson. You don't have him
Yeah,
anymore. You don't have. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. CJ Cavis. You don't have Dominic Vitelli anymore. So we definitely lost a lot of good players, to the MLB draft. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how this roster is going to look. You know, I
well,
think I think the other thing that I definitely would like to see us get better is, and this what I'm about to say irritates the crap out of me, is how many times are we going to stop looking at third strikes?
I was just gonna say my concern is the hitting
That and
and the
then
pitching.
the pitching and the decision making when we go to try to steal base because
Right.
last year we got caught several times. And then obviously trying to move on the base paths. I don't even know if we even do that at all, or we hardly ever do that.
Exactly.
You know,
Uh,
it it's
but
definitely gonna be interesting. It
it
really
is.
is. But obviously the top of the conversation right now is football, and then obviously got
Right,
basketball
right.
going on. Uh, and it's funny because my friend was at the Florida Panthers game, not that I think yesterday. I think they were playing Chicago, and I know they got that rookie out there, and he told me like one of our guys ended up laying a hit on the rookie, and he was laughing his butt off because that rookie apparently is pretty good. He's like 18 years old. I didn't even know that. Like he's super young. I know the Panthers have been doing good. I just haven't really been keeping up with that as well. But yeah, I mean it's nice to have all these sports back because obviously you it always gives you something to watch for sure. But
And it also gives Miami fans something to bitch about.
true,
Because, like,
true.
I mean, seriously though, we talked about it. Miami could be like 10-0 right now,
They could be 10-0 or they could be
and they
nine
would
and one
find
right now.
something to bitch about.
So and oh, trust me, they have. I'm pretty sure you watched Coop's walking and vending video. I'm pretty sure you have.
I did. Yeah, I mean, and okay, I'm gonna give you my unadulterated opinion. Okay,
Yeah, no, you're
and
good. That's why I brought it up.
this is just my opinion. Okay, but as bad or uneventful as the offensive play calling has been,
Hmm.
you can't fire the man.
No, it's only
Okay,
his first.
and
It's only his first year.
and I'm going to say this: last year, with all the Gaddis talk,
Hmm.
you know, I guess I was probably the only because I think it was one of Coop's late night things, and he asked everybody, should Gaddis be fired?
Yeah.
And I told him no, just for the simple fact that if we're going to judge this coach's performance, you
Mhm.
know, it was when we had the decimated offensive line,
Yep.
you know, all the injuries,
Yep.
you know, and I wasn't being a Gaddis person. It's
Right.
just, if you're going to, let's be fair about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm not saying Gaddis would have been successful this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, with Dawson, in my opinion, he's a good coach. You know, he just has to learn. You know, he probably just needs to learn and do whatever. I don't know.
Mhm.
But uh but to fire him, we'll be right back where we were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I agree.
With Mario, you know, yeah, I have my grievances with what Mario does here and there and yonder where, but it's just year two, a whole nother
Mhm.
coaching staff, not making excuses. I'm just calling it like I see it. Because my God, could you imagine if all these cats were back in the early mid 80s when Jimmy Johnson took over?
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
I'm not saying Mario was the second coming of Jimmy Johnson. But I'm just saying
Yeah. 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 I get what you're
it,
saying.
I think what a lot of these cats are doing, they're just frustrated. Oh,
Yeah.
they want it now. They see other teams doing it,
Yeah.
but you have to look at whether it's been Mario, Lane, Saban, whoever. You could, you know, oh, you could have Don Shula out there right now, rest his soul. But
Mhm.
you know, you got, in my opinion, it's just considering,
It, it's too quick to judge.
and then plus, you know, right now Miami's 6-4.
Yeah.
All right, more than it's going to be a tough game, but they can still finish 7-5.
Or 8-4.
Worst case, 8-4. Oh, I'm sorry. Best case, 8-4, seven
Or
and
worse.
five, or 6 and
Or
6.
yeah, that would be the worst case.
And if you go back to August, go look at all the Miami videos that everybody made. Those are basically the three predictions from everybody.
Mhm.
Okay. And what I'm getting at is, I think, you know, this is what everybody expected, about 7-5, middle of the road. But I just
Mhm.
don't think they expected the way things have gone the last 6 weeks, because had no business losing to Georgia Tech, North
Mhm.
Carolina, too many turnovers.
Yep.
NC State shouldn't have lost that one.
Yeah. I agree.
Florida State, I don't know. You know, but
Mhm.
let me bring this all together. That it, you know, Miami's going to have to take some, you know, hit some speed bumps in the road.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I was kind of hoping Jakari would have got some playing time, so we could
Yeah.
just see what we have, what's in the pantry. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, it's still year two for Mario,
Mhm.
which in a way it's kind of like year 1B, because again, he has a whole new coaching staff. Not making excuses, just calling it like I see it.
Right.
And if anybody feels differently, that's fine. I'm just giving you my opinion. You know, everybody has their own opinion. I just think, you know, if we're sitting here next year at this time and we have the same coaching staff and they're still doing Hey, right of the line. Yeah, Billy Napier. Oh my gosh. But what I'm getting at is I believe TVD's gone. I think Saturday will be his last game for Miami. Uh
So
go ahead.
so let me ask you this then. Since I think, most Canes fans would may or may not agree if, Tyler Van Dyke possibly being gone after the season. So that also brings up this question, who do you think is also gone after this season? Do you think Cam's gone? Do you think James Williams gone? Or you don't really know and we'll see how it pans out?
Well, I was talking about this earlier in the video, but you know, if they leave, they leave. They don't, they don't. Personally, I'd like to see them all come back. If you still got another year of eligibility, come back, do better. Because Cam's been plagued with some injuries. Okay.
Yes,
He really hasn't had that 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 season like he had last year. And that's just
correct.
because he's been injured. He's
Yeah,
getting out there playing his ass off and
yeah,
just had some dingers. That's football.
yeah.
Oh, I
You know,
because I
you
was
know, it's
talking. Go ahead.
it's funny, and I completely forgot to mention this because Chris Paul also mentioned it. Somebody in the media reporters did ask about Zion Nelson. Like that's been such a very interesting development and story. It's like I feel bad for the guy because it's like, you can tell that he definitely wants to get back out there, but it's like I don't even know how many years of eligibility he even has left, you know, and I don't know, it's just to me that story is just it's very interesting and it brings up curiosity because I don't know if anyone on our offensive line now is going to leave. I mean, I don't
I I,
know how.
I
I
doubt
don't
it.
know. I mean, yeah, I doubt it too. But it's still, it's just funny because I forgot to. I literally forgot about that. Forgot to mention that. It's because it's like, holy crap! I literally forgot about Zion Nelson because nobody's
Yeah,
talked about him.
exactly. Well, I mean, first off, you just look at the offensive play,
Yeah.
offensive line play. This is the first time these guys have worked together. Okay. Does Matt Lee have another year? Is he a senior?
I have no idea. I think he's a senior.
Okay. But what I'm getting at, this is probably one of the best or better
Better, I would
offensive
say.
lines we've had at Miami in a while.
Hmm.
And the scary thing is it's only going to get better.
Oh yeah. I mean,
You still got Samson sitting on the sideline.
not
You
to
know,
mention, you have like a 6'8", I think 300 and something pound JUCO number one JUCO player.
exactly.
I mean, that's a big kid.
Yeah. And then just right down the street from you got that Broussard, Kavion Broussard, 6'7". He's a little
Hmm.
light. I think he's like 270, 280. I say
Yep.
light, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then you got so yeah, it's the offensive line is going to be good, and
Hmm.
it's just going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know, uh, I just hate to see any of these underclassmen leave and
Hmm.
then either don't get drafted or get drafted like in the 6th or 7th round. That seems to be the trend that I've noticed.
Yeah.
When's the last time Miami had a first round pick? When's the last time they had a second round pick?
You got to go back. I want to say 2021, 2020, I think, when Jalen Phillips got drafted and Gregory Rousseau got drafted.
Are they second or third?
I think Jalen Phillips was the first round, and I think Gregory was the second.
I thought, well,
I could be
it,
wrong,
yeah, I mean,
but
I
then
thought it was, but still, the point of the fact of the,
yeah,
I don't want to get, but it's just, you know, you got all these cats get like Cam. Let's say Cam leaves.
right,
You know, he's had some injuries, some dingers, if you will. And you know,
hmm
realize pro football is a whole different ball game. It's more of a business.
yep,
You know, like right now, I think Cam would probably only. I mean, I don't know how desperate people are for safeties, and I don't know what the safety situation looks like in the NFL or whatever. But I don't know if he would go in the top 2 rounds.
yeah. I don't know. It's
And
again,
it's not indicative of the young man's talent. It's just, you know, and
I,
then like Williams, I think
right,
James Williams' size will help him maybe 3rd round. But again, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I don't want to sound like neither one of
yeah,
them are worth a flip.
yeah.
But it's the
It's like,
NFL, dude. It's
y-
just it's a
yeah,
whole different
it,
thing.
yeah. It's a whole different ballpark, and honestly, it's too early to say. Who leaves, who stays, who transfers, all that. Because again, we still got like 2, 3 games left to play. On top of that, and then again, the reason why we are talking about this is because of TVD, because, and we've said this before and I'll say it again, if TVD were to go to the draft, he would get drafted, but he would be a late round, he would be drafted late. Or TVD could come back but go to a different school and get a fresh start, which it's no knock on him or not, but I feel like
No, no, no.
I feel like that would probably be his best case scenario, is to probably go somewhere else and maybe get a fresh start. But then again, he could come back and surprise us and say, you know what, I had another bad year. You know, I was dealing with a torn ligament and a bad bruised leg, knee, whatever you want to call it. You know, and he's got to get better at reading the zone and stuff like that. You know, and it get uh, you get that's why I say, man, this whole quarterback situation thing sucks, man. It just does. It's like, it's not to knock him or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's just the topic of conversation right now, and everybody's saying, we're one quarterback away from being a good team. It's like, well, on one hand, it's like, I'm not disagreeing with that, but it also, does come down to, your offensive play calling as well.
Right. Uh right of the line says 2021. He says Russo and Phillips were both 1st round players. And that may
Yes.
be. I'm not
Yeah,
I was
that's what
just
I
bringing
thought.
up, you know, in years past, all these cats leave for the NFL and they just either don't get drafted or whatever. Looks like you're getting some of that rain falling from the sky, Bryce. It's like
Yeah,
some of that crap I've had over here for the last day. It's not raining hard,
it's
but it's just raining.
yeah,
Oh,
it's been raining on and off.
but with TVD though, you know, we talked about it. He came in when Derek got hurt
Yep.
in 2020, or no, 21. Okay.
It
And
was
then last year he got
I
hurt.
think I think it was 2020, and then he came back in 2021 against Bama, and then he played the Michigan State game, and then he got his shoulder hurt pretty bad. And
Right.
after that,
But
and then yeah,
you know,
I
it's
got
like last year he was just, it was a decimated offensive line. He got hurt. And it's, you know, he comes in early this year looking pretty good, but then again, he hurt his hand, his thumb in the
hmm
fall practice, you know, but oh, because you know, and I'm not trying to say anything, but I will say it is TVD and Jakari are Manny guys.
they are.
Okay. Now I'm not I mean, sometimes these coaches they get funny and fickle like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying that's whatever, but the reason why I say that Saturday could be TVD's last game is I could actually see the coaching staff letting Jakari play against Boston College, because win, lose, or draw Saturday, Miami's just trying not to get anybody hurt. You see where I'm getting at? I mean, yeah, they're going to play to win, but they're already in a bowl game.
Yep.
Okay. So really, the next two games, they're just going to go out there and play to win without having anything to lose. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And maybe TVD does play the next two games. I don't know. But with Judd coming in next year, Emory possibly playing next fall, and then Jakari. I mean, actually, if you want to know the truth, Jakari is probably in the best position of anybody on the quarterback staff, because,
But there's also
had-
the possibility that Jakari could transfer it, and I wouldn't blame him.
Right. I mean, again, I don't know. God, I hope it's not true, but I don't know if there's something going on in the locker room. I don't know if there is, maybe playing philosophies or something don't match. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Jakari thinks he can get more playing time on the field somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we could be down to Emory and Judd next year.
We could be, which is why everybody's also talking about, if that's the case, we have no choice but to go in the portal and get a transfer portal quarterback,
right?
Because you're going to need somebody with experience.
True, so true. But again, it's going to be what it's going to be. If TVD leaves, I wish him all the best. If Jakari leaves, I wish him all the best. But anyway, that's really about all I got. I just wanted to get on here and say hello and just talk about a few things. I'm about to get my Xbox on. Pull my we'll do a little driving and racing today, but appreciate you stepping in, Bryce. Nice talking to you as always. Crip, glad you're doing better, buddy. You take care of yourself. Right of the line, welcome. I see you decide to come back for this $1.25 tree production studio here. But but anyway, that's gonna be about it. I just, I don't want to get into just keep repeating the same stuff over and over again. But I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna do anything the rest of the week. I don't know.
There is one thing that I did forget to mention, since we were on the subject of other stuff. It's great. The Bills have been very bad lately, dude.
I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the Dolphins are starting to get to full strength.
I know.
But we could be all day on that. But anyway, so look, y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I thought it was Thursday. It's Tuesday. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I appreciate everybody stopping by. As always, peace, love, and soul. There I am. Go Canes. And we're going to catch y'all the next time. Bye.